Hello and welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be looking at the best ways to mow your field. Now, I'm not really talking equipment here. I did use a Colossus in all of these videos just to make things easier for myself. But what we're actually really looking at is we're looking at methods of going around to mow the field. So that first video was an AI helper, and now we are looking at really the best, fastest way to mow, which was a lot quicker. So here's our AI helper again. I did speed up the time just because I didn't want everyone to have to sit here for 5 minutes for each and every section and waste a ton of time. We all know that AI helpers can be fantastic, but they really aren't the most efficient and they tend to get stuck a lot. Now, it is faster in the fact that you can have the AI helper do it and you can go do something else. Or if you need to keep unloading the grain, you can keep stopping and unloading the grain for the AI helper while they keep plowing. Now, wow, not plowing, they keep harvesting. Sorry. Maybe I should be writing a script. Anyway. Now, it takes them quite a while here. We'll skip through a little bit here. I did speed it up, but it still takes them quite a while. I mean, it winds up taking them a whole 5 minutes almost. Yeah, over 5 minutes just to get that field mowed. So I wanted to try doing it a few different ways to see what was the most efficient. So first off here, we're going to do kind of the typical back and forth, just like any of the AI helpers do, where we're going to go from one end to the other, going along the long edge, flip around and coming back. The one thing with the Colossus is this is the 43 mile an hour one, so we are turning faster than most of the other in-game harvesters would. But, I mean, we're doing it the exact same way for each and every method, so I don't think that's really going to impact the overall results, just the actual time. But seeing as we're doing it all the same, the percentages, the values will all be the same. So, as we keep going through here, I mean, we do improve quite a bit over the AI doing it. We're significantly faster. We shave off about a whole minute, a little bit over a minute, almost a minute and a half. So we do pretty good on that one. And I gotta tell you, I know this isn't the fastest, and I didn't think this would be the fastest, but we just had to do it to kind of knock out nature. And I actually did go through this whole method twice, because I did this as the starting off one and had a little bit of trouble here and there and figured, you know what, I haven't played the game in a couple days, I better do it again just to make sure. And I shaved a bit of time off the second one, so I will say there's going to be a little bit of error here and there, because I wound up saving about 3% as far as time goes. It's really not a huge difference, and I'm not going to count that as being anything major to where I have to try and redo them all and see the absolute fastest I can get or anything like that. I'm just going to say our deviation's about 3%. So basically all of percentages, all the numbers are what they are, give or take 3%. Because that kind of rounds it all out. So for our next method here, I see a lot of people do this. I do this time from time myself. And it does help you clean up the field a little bit more efficiently, making sure that you don't lose anything by going and looping back around like that and coming back through. But to be honest, it takes a lot of time to constantly do big turns like that. A lot of time and a pretty good amount of space. Now, since you are basically just continuously doing head rows through the whole thing, you have the space to do it. But unless you really, really want to do it, it's not the most efficient. And what I wound up finding too, surprisingly to me, which I was really kind of shocked about, I couldn't believe it, I actually didn't get 100% of the field. Going based off of what the AI helper did, and then what I did, we actually still lost about 12% of our overall gain from the field size. So somewhere along the lines, I missed just enough to lose a little bit of the field, meaning that the big bonus of making sure you get everything off the field a little better really didn't exist for me. So this is probably actually going to go down as the worst method to me, because when I did straight up and down, I gathered everything that first time. And doing this, I didn't. It was pretty cool. I mean, a 0.12% loss is not a whole lot, but it is something, and if you're talking on a massive field, that can get pretty big. It also gets a lot more time consuming if you're looking at doing this on a massive field, just simply because you have a lot more field. So for this method here, we end up right around 4 minutes, 54 seconds, 55 seconds. So we're a little bit quicker, we're not a whole lot quicker. Now, this one is one that I really thought was going to be the fastest. This is a method that I actually used to use for mowing my lawn as well, where you skip a row in between and kind of just go with the natural turn radius of the machine, and then come back through and get the rest of it. So you'll see we skip that little patch. Now we're going to flip around, we'll skip another patch, and I'm not even really super trying to make sure that I line it up so that it would be exactly one row, which was kind of silly on my part, because it's more than one row. It would really have taken a lot more time, but it did work out to be exactly one row wide, so you can just come right back down and again just harvest through the entire field. And it works out very efficiently because you're not doing any 3-point turns, you're not backing up, so it is faster than going straight up and down and doing 3-point turns or trying to do anything. But I mean, again, you can see this one lends a little bit more towards missing spots of the field, even though it's a little bit faster. I wound up being at about a 99.7% harvest going off of what the AI collected. And the way we did this is I actually did save the game right before harvesting and then quit and reloaded the save every time. So our harvest should have been the exact same amount every single time. So this method winds up coming in at right about 4 minutes and 25 seconds. And this is our second fastest method. Now, if you're ready for the fastest, here we go. I'm not too surprised this one's the fastest, but I did think that last one was going to be faster. So what we're going to do is we are going to just continuously circle around this field. This is where usually I'll kind of try and do this and pair it with the looping method so that I don't have to worry about any sort of 3-point turns or screwing up the field or anything else. And this is maybe why people think that method where you loop around, come back on the corner is faster. But I'll tell you, this is actually a good bit faster than anything else. So, I mean, you do kind of screw up the corners a little bit, and it's not the most efficient thing in the world. And I did have the worst loss of yield on this one. We came in at 98.3% on our yield. So, I mean, we lost a decent chunk of harvest, but if you were being a little bit more careful, yeah, you'd probably come out a little bit better. Plus, you could always go back through if you need to. I know sometimes when I do this, I'll kind of miss the corners, and then at the end I'll just do one sweep through on each of the corners and pick up everything that was there. But I mean, it really shocked me that this came in so much faster than everything else. So our last one, like I said, those alternating rows that I thought was going to be the fastest wound up at 4 minutes, 25 seconds. The fastest time we had going up and down the rows was 4 minutes and 33 seconds, which isn't a huge difference when you're talking about a field this size, but if you take this field, which is less than an acre, and multiply it, you're going to have a huge difference. This method, the fastest, comes in at 4 minutes flat with a 58-second split. So it is by far the fastest. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day.